What is up, guys? It's your boy Swordbearer Cacus, and today we are going to be showcasing all of the brand new raid weapons dropping from the reprised Crota's and raid just added into Destiny 2 within Season of the Witch. All these weapons are pretty brand spanking new. They're not even available in the database yet, and so we're going to be kind of showcasing what these weapons are, their stats, archetypes, and some of their possible roles. Guys, these raid weapons have some absolutely god tier perk combos, like just absolute top tier perks available, including some combos I don't think we've ever seen before. So let's get into it. Now, first things first, to acquire these weapons, you will need to do the Crota's and raid. It should be a lot easier now that contest mode is over, and I have done a complete guide showcasing every single encounter, so absolutely check that out if any of these weapons look interesting. Spoiler alert, yeah, they're gonna look pretty interesting. Now, let's go over something all of these weapons share, and that is the origin trait. It's called Cursed Thrall, and it says, after defeating a target with a melee attack, final blows with this weapon cause targets to explode for a short duration. So let's see what that does, and I'm going to be testing it out here with the Fang of Ir Yût Scout Rifle. This is a rapid fire frame, 260 rounds per minute archetype. I don't have the best roll here with Killing Wind plus Opening Shot, but I actually like rapid fire scouts, and it's strand. Still not too many strand weapons in the game, so that is a big deal. So, as you can see right here, when I get a normal kill, nothing really happens, right? But when I get that melee kill, in this case with my hammer, and I shoot an enemy, boom, big explosion, nearby enemies die, and it is a very effective tool for ad clearing. It's very similar to a perk like Dragonfly or Firefly. However, the big difference is that unlike those two perks, as you can see, you do not need a precision shot. Once you get that melee kill, you can just get a body shot kill, any kill with the weapon, and it will cause that Cursed Thrall explosion. Now, of course, the caveat of having to get a melee kill first is a pretty heavy requirement, and you only have a limited amount of time when this perk is active. Now I have to cut away to a different section of gameplay because you actually can't see the buff when I get a melee kill with my bonk hammers because there's too many buffs going on and Bungie thinks my brain would explode if it displayed all of them. So as you can see right here, I get a melee kill and I have 7 seconds to trigger those Cursed Thrall explosions. Again, those are two big caveats to the effect. But with all that being said, if you do get it running, again, it is like getting a free Firefly that's easier to activate, and it is incredible for ad clearing. And, I mean, I'm getting Bonk Hammer kills. The Bonk Hammer Titan is a really good build, an actual S tier, and I would argue, many people would argue, a god tier build, not to mention the Banner of War Titan, which just became viable this season, is also utilizing a ton of melees. So there's actually a bunch of builds that would have no problem consistently triggering this origin trait. But guys, moving on from there, another unique thing that these weapons share is a brand new raid perk, a perk that only these weapons can get, and that's going to be Sword Logic. Now, what this says is that final blows with this weapon grant bonus damage. The strength and duration of the bonus increases when more powerful targets are defeated. So how this perk actually functions in-game is really, really interesting. As you can see right here, a normal body shot against a red bar is going to do 7,652 damage. Then I trigger the Sword Logic perk, it lasts for 5 seconds, and now I'm doing, for the same body shot, 8,800 damage. Now, as you can see, as I continually get kills, every kill I get will refresh that 5-second timer. It will always go back up to 5 seconds. Then a yellow bar spawns, I kill this yellow bar servitor, and now I have Sword Logic ×2. And I'm hitting those same red bar body shots for 9,565 damage. That's great, but a couple of other things have changed. it now lasts for 7 seconds, whereas previously it lasted for 5, and every time I get a kill, it will refresh Sword Logic times 2 for those 7 seconds. So I kill the one yellow bar, and now I can just go back to killing red bars, and it will still refresh Sword Logic times 2 and give me that times 2 better damage. So when you do kill a more powerful enemy, you can carry that extra damage buff as long as you want as you keep getting kills. That is very, very cool. Now, to be honest, guys, I kind of thought that was it. It was like, oh, red bars gives you this much, yellow bars gives you this much. But when I was doing other activities with these weapons, getting gameplay, as you can see, I killed a Lucian Hive, and suddenly, wait a minute, I have Sword Logic times 4. So yeah, it scales pretty high, and I went back to test it further. So as you can see right here, I kill this Nightmare enemy, and this is kind of a mini boss, and I actually get Sword Logic times 3. Now I'm hitting for 10,330 damage. And at times 3, it lasts for 10 seconds. And then finally, I kill this Lost Sector boss, and I get that maximum Sword Logic times 4, and I'm hitting for 11,478 damage. And it lasts for a full 15 seconds. So, crunch the numbers, and here is the chart for what Sword Logic does. So it scales all the way up from 15% more damage at times 1, then 25% more, 35% more, and then at times 4, it maxes out at 50% more damage. This is a really interesting perk for PvE because Sword Logic times 4, if you can trigger that, holy crap, 50% more damage that lasts for 15 seconds, that again, you can re-trigger as many times as you want by simply killing red bars, which is going to be very easy because you're doing 50% more damage and you have a full 15 seconds to re-trigger it. That is absolutely amazing. But how often are you killing those actual boss-coded enemies? Well, not that much. It's much more realistic to randomly kill a yellow bar and get times 2. But even then, 25% more damage for 7 seconds, and again, the ability to re-trigger is pretty darn good. The thing that I think actually makes this perk pretty decent for PvE is that re-trigger ability against smaller enemies. You just need to get that one kill, against a champion, a yellow bar, whatever, a more powerful coded enemy to get those higher tier bonuses, and then you can just farm the lower tier adds to keep that buff up constantly. That is what makes this perk, I think, actually pretty decent. And remember, I believe all of these raid weapons can get the Sword Logic perk. So let's take a look at some of the other roles that you can acquire. There is a Strand Shotgun, lightweight frame, and I have the role of Demolitionist in the left column, which I think is fantastic. I love any weapon that has Demo in the left column, and then Hatchling in the right column. Now, Hatchling is a bit of a bait because you actually do need to get precision final blows with your shotgun. Not impossible, but not the easiest task. I would much rather have Demo plus, Sword Logic would be probably pretty amazing, or any other good perk in the right column is going to be a fantastic pairing. And of course, with a shotgun, getting a melee kill already being up in people's faces, that Cursed Thrall origin trait is going to be pretty amazing here. We already saw the Fang of Ir Yût, but that thing with Sword Logic will be probably pretty cracked. Now, the hand cannon, the Word of Crota, is really interesting. It is a 180 precision frame archetype, which, to be honest, isn't the best archetype. However, the perks are absolutely insane. I have a role here with Repulsor Brace in the left column, so defeating a void debuffed target grants an overshield. This is a very desirable perk, and there's weapons that have it in the right column, taking up a main, damage increasing perk, and people will still go for Repulsor Brace because if you're on a void build, if you're consistently getting volatile rounds on your weapon, you're running a Gear Falcon's Hunter build, you are going to love Repulsor Brace, and it's going to give you constant overshields. But you can pair that with, in this case, Frenzy to increase the damage and the reload speed. I have another role here with Repulsor Brace Rampage. Such a fantastic role. And I have, if you don't care about Repulsor Brace, a role here with Dragonfly in the left column. Extremely rare. Only a handful of weapons can get Dragonfly in the left column, combined with Rampage again. So you're causing those explosions, easily triggering Rampage. In fact, you get a Dragonfly explosion, get a 2 kills, you get Rampage times 2, right? And not only that, guys, you can compare that with the Curse Thrall Explosion, so you get Curse Thrall and Dragonfly, so you can kill pretty powerful enemies with those combo explosions. Moving on from there, we have an auto rifle here, the Abyss Defiant. This is a solar high impact frame. Again, not the best archetype, but the perks are amazing. So I have a roll here with Heal Clip, brand new perk for this season. So reloading shortly after dealing a final blow grants cure to you and your nearby allies, so you can heal yourself every time you reload after a kill. And again, that's in the left column, so it's just an additional perk. I have this combined with Target Lock to increase the damage. Target Lock is a very, very good damage increasing perk. I actually have another roll here with Pugilist to get your melee energy back, pairs really well with the Curse Thrall origin trait, and one of my teammates got the roll of Heal Clip plus Incandescent. That's probably the god roll I'm going for. Next up, we do have a weapon that I unfortunately haven't been able to get yet, but my teammate did get a fantastic roll for, the Oversoul Edict Arc Pulse Rifle. This is a rapid fire frame, a very deadly archetype, and my teammate's roll is Demolitionist, again in that left column, combined with Swashbuckler here. But still, like, that is actually pretty fantastic. Demo plus a damage increasing perk, a rapid fire frame with demo plus sword logic would be incredible, guys. So this is absolutely a weapon I'm going to be going for. Now, moving on from there, we also have a machine gun, the Song of Ir Yût. Now, this thing is an arc adaptive frame machine gun, and it is absolutely god tier. So, the rolls I have include rewind rounds, and with a machine gun, if you're landing your precision shots, you get half the magazine back, then you keep shooting, get the half of that back. You can shoot hundreds of rounds without stopping. You can pair that with, I have here, sword logic, as you can imagine, incredible with a machine gun. But you can also get, in this case, rewind rounds, plus the more traditional target lock. Target lock is god tier on machine guns, really increasing their single target damage. And I had teammates that actually got this thing with Reconstruction. So Reconstruction plus target lock or sword logic. This is, I think, the best arc craftable machine gun in the entire game. Now, there is a seasonal one that's rapid fire frame that can get target lock, but it has trash tier perks for the first column. You can't get anything good in the first column for PvE. So now this, with like target lock, either rewind rounds or Reconstruction target lock, is just like literal god tier for a machine gun, not to mention those Curse Thrall explosions when you want them. And again, you can also, if you don't want target lock, you want a more ad clearing focused roll, you go with sword logic, and that's going to be phenomenal as well. Not to mention great stats on pretty much all of these weapons. These are going to be probably the most desirable weapons for not only this season, but probably the next season until we get a new raid. Raid weapons are always incredibly desirable, and they usually do really change up the meta. So guys, that's it for a look at all these new raid weapons. I hope you enjoyed this video, found this informative, and if you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.